Theo Epstein will work his way back into the Boston Red Sox ownership group, where he is going to be a senior advisor, hoping to jumpstart a Boston Red Sox team that has struggled to gain footing and get back to contention, they hope, with his services in the AL East.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex?
All right,
Free.
try this again.
Her stuffy nose is gone for now.
Sounds pretty good right now.
And so is she.
On wood.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use it. Tuscaloosa weather. We'll have the air with 42.
I feel like it's kind of
Shine clouds increasing by afternoon, the high 67.
I think it gets
Sunny and much colder with occasional rain, the high at 50. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 66 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
For all Friday. I feel like I'm in like a blues club. You know what? Just bobbing my head, man.
in there right
Just sitting back and Friday. That's what Friday's all about, right?
Yep.
Let's play a little bit, no. Let's play. Come on. Yeah. Come on. As you head into the weekend. All right, welcome back. We are back in the middle of that. Let's go back to the phone line. My man Noah doing this. What else, Colin? Yeah. Now, let's go to the phone line. Jenny, you up next, brother? Welcome in.
What's up, y'all? First off, I'll say roll Yes, sir. I always feel like, our program, you have to throw kind of mind and players the full nature of their game. They always freak out. Whether or not that's I always kind of feel like, we have to layer kind of offensive and defense. I know I said it's all we had to worry about that. Whether it's good or it is, because we're Alabama and everybody knows the expectations. I always feel like it's not that hard. We're not just by one, get coached. There's always the ones that we don't expect, always that are willing to sit up in place and just roll right in there. So, I hope that I know that that'll be a great opportunity for Seattle Seahawks. But even if he does, I feel like we'll still be in good shape. I know I have a feeling there's always somebody in the back pocket that they're willing to bring up just in case they got it done. That's just what I think. I'm honestly doing it just because the reason I did it because how quickly to get our coach, our head coach, and it wasn't that long, and they had a great mind, a great person to bring in, and I think he's going to do really well here.
No, I think here's the thing with Alabama. I mean, it's still set up to be a very, very good football team. I mean, the coverage is not dried up or anything. They got an opportunity to open back up in April. Spring practice and all that stuff. They'll know some guys that are on this roster as we speak today. They probably won't be here. Probably going to see guys. They're going to say, this guy not good for our system, and they'll have that conversation of we need roster spots. Maybe we'll help you find somewhere else. So that's going to happen. So you're going to have some more attrition with the roster. Then they have to be really good in the spring because we talked about this yesterday, especially defense, the edge guys in the secondary, very young. They're going to have to be big-time players in the transfer portal this spring because these are a position that you're not going to want to bring in and depend on freshmen to step right into play because that could be big problems. So I think they will be very active in the portal this spring, and I think there's going to be some dudes that's going to be other places that's going to figure out, hey, it's not what I thought. That's going to want to transfer out of there, and I think they're going to find some dudes. I really do. But we just got to wait and see. I mean, that's why I always say it's still for me. I was a wait and see approach, and not about the coaching. I think the offense is going to be pretty daggone good. I think he's proven that he can coach offense. I'm sold with that. I'm more concerned with the defense right now because there are a lot of positions that need to be filled.
Mm-hmm. Well, one last thing for me, man. Somebody says this, and I'm not for sure because I'm on my phone here, but somebody says your shoes untied, brother.
You got a joke.
What's that?
Yeah, I was saying your shoes untied, brother. I'm gonna see if you look.
Yeah, you ain't
yeah, they are. I don't even have any shoes. I'm barefoot, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate the phone call.
Man, roll tide.
Have a great weekend, JD. There he goes. He's not worried either. So the feeling is that the fan base don't really have a problem if he leaves or not. I mean, I'm not saying they're not asking him to leave, Christian. They're not saying, hey, do what you got to do. I think they understand the opportunity is the National Football League. This is as high as you can go, right? And to be an offensive coordinator at that level right out of college. But think about, man, what I don't know. I mean, adornment. I don't know if that's the right word, but you left Washington, a good program. It's not a historical program. And you get a job at Alabama because of your coach, Kalen DeBoer, but yet you're going to be the OC at Alabama. And then here comes the National Football League, a team where you lived. One of the best fan bases in all of the National Football League.
Right.
I mean, if that opportunity is presented, there is absolutely no way he stays. I just can't see it.
Well,
because I know coaches, and every coach would love to coach in the National Football League. And we're going to get into this about transfer portal and all what's happening in NIL next hour, but you don't even have to deal with recruiting, bro. People don't understand. Bro, you just coach football. That's all you worry about is football. You're not chapsticking nobody.
Right. Well, and I would say, though, I wouldn't say he's here because of, the DeBoer hire, because remember, he was offered the job to come here last season with Coach Saban.
But he didn't take it, but he's here now because of DeBoer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though. But, I mean, he had the opportunity before DeBoer. But that being said, I agree with you that Coach, if I was a coach, which I can't do it's too demanding in terms of hours, right? I mean, I thought I was busy as a player. I see what the coaches' schedules are, and it's not. I couldn't do it. But in NFL, like you said, I mean, you don't have to recruit. There's more time off. You don't have to worry about following behind 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids, making sure they're going to class, making sure they're not being knuckleheads, right? Like you said, I mean, you're just coaching ball and you're working with the best players in the world, right? And then it's hard to turn that down. So if he takes a job, I don't blame him one bit, man. If anything, shoot, I'd almost tell him, hell, what are you doing? You might as well, right? But I don't know. I still think he's going to be here. I mean, again, he's out on the road recruiting. But I do want to throw something at you. During bowl season right now, not bowl season, but Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, that type of bowl season, a lot of media always gets the opportunity to interview guys outside of just our program that can offer information on other stuff. For instance, they interviewed Michael Penix, got his thoughts on Coach DeBoer. Well, they interviewed a former quarterback, I think South Alabama's former quarterback, and we're asking him about Kane Womack. And so I kind of want to talk about some of what he said in terms of what to expect from Kane Womack on the next side of this, on the next hour. We're about to go into the next hour here in a minute, but kind of want to talk about what he said because it was interesting. He kind of talked about a little bit about defensively what to expect and then the type of person, the coach that Kane Womack is. So just another little nugget that can offer you some information, but he kind of was saying what I was seeing about the zone drops and kind of how they play defense. So I definitely want to talk about that coming up because it'll give us a better idea on what to expect from Kane Womack.
All right, so we'll get some of that And what about Iowa? People hit me up hard about Iowa's cheating against Caden Proctor and how that was they were tampering. Well, Iowa has turned in a little infraction and said, hey, we tampered a little bit with Caden Proctor. But the reality is, it don't even freaking matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter. I'm gonna talk about it. We gotta hit a break. It doesn't matter, and we'll talk about that. And now all this stuff is running coaches away from college football. That's what these are the kind of things I'm talking about right here. So we'll talk about that. And just a little news note, real quick. Will Anderson Jr., former Alabama Crimson Tide defensive end / linebacker, has now been voted to the Pro Bowl because probably somebody else or 2, 3, 4 people didn't want to go. So now he has been named to the Pro Bowl. So We'll talk about that, which is kind of phony because I'll tell you why I don't like that at all, because like Mac Jones was a Pro Bowl player when we know he really wasn't a Pro Bowl player. Well, I just keep it real. We'll be back in a moment. I can't stand.
All right, guys. Hopefully the sound's a little bit better. I tried to mess with a couple of things, and I think it's going better. I don't see people complaining about the audio right now. How's it sound, guys? Let me know. And if you could, like the video while you tell me how the sound is. That's always helpful for us. So we appreciate that. G-Man, what's going on, man? Defense here. You said the caller wasn't coming through clearly. Is it better now?
WTBC Tuscaloosa.
Sounds pretty good on my end right now. Jeff says it's good. Gotta have some pass rushers. Yeah, you definitely do, man. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, about especially with the youth in the secondary. It's going to be big. Guys, Jesus sounds good. All right. Let's pray it stays like that, man. I promise. Yep. All right. Yakengi's in. Am I saying this right? Is it Yakengi? Yes. Am I saying that right? Let's hope the sound stays good, though. I'm pretty sure it should be good. And if it goes out for a minute, I think that might be the connection. But we're just going to keep on rolling, man. We're going to keep on rolling. What are your guys' thoughts on the Ryan Grubb thing? Yakenji. Okay, I got you. Yakenji. Good to know. I knew I feel like I might be saying it wrong. But thank you, Kenji. All right, here we go. But what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on the Ryan Grubb situation? Are you going to be upset if he leaves? Are you good? What are your thoughts?
On the Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Hope you're doing well on this Friday. Hope you're getting yourself set up for a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Look like the weather is going to really do the right thing. It's going to obey and be some sun. I know at least down in these parts of South Carolina, we're in the 60s today. Beautiful, beautiful day here on a Friday to get outside. And think about outside, man. It's probably beautiful in Tuscaloosa and the sun is out. Go down to R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street. Check out Reagan and Randy. Check out the crew doing a nice job out there. Great day to be on the porch, man. Just sit out there, nice chairs out there, nice flat screen TVs. Of course, the best humidor in all of Tuscaloosa, all of Alabama, all of the Southeast that you can choose one of the finest cigars. Have you a nice cocktail, adult beverage. They got that for you too, the best bourbon in town. Or if you want to get inside and do a little meeting, or you got family, you want your own room, they got many, many rooms to choose from upstairs and down. Recliners in every single room. No place like the mansion. There is no place. Say it again. Look at your neighbor. Give him high five and say there's no place like the mansion. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, right there in Tuscaloosa. And if you're not there, you listen to us, Dallas and South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and you're a cigar smoker, guess what? Go check out that website, www.rnrcigars.com. That's rnrcigars.com. Get them to ship them to you absolutely free. Using that The Miller's Edge, the code word, the Miller's Edge. All right, Christian Miller, let me get back to you.
Yeah.
I do like a lot of stuff. Real quickly, Will Anderson Jr., congratulations to Will. He'll be down in Orlando this weekend. I don't know if he took part of the skill games last night. You know, they don't play real football no more. They didn't do it when they had the pads on. It was a joke, the Pro Bowl. But now he is been
Promoted.
invited to play, promoted, whatever you want to call it. And how this works, and many of you probably do know, once you're voted in, a lot of these guys just not going to do it anymore, right? They've been there, they've done that. And what they do is like, man, I ain't wasting my time to go down there and play flag football or to be in part of, you know, a race or who can throw the ball the furthest.
They sound like a bunch of yous, man. They sound like a bunch of yous. Don't want to have fun. Don't want to be appreciative.
They just don't. They've been there. They don't, who wants to go down there and play flag football?
I
mean, want to do that.
I mean, see, I think sometimes, look, man, sometimes you just got to have fun, man. Y'all got to, sometimes I think like, it's not this. It's
you
not
can
that.
have fun without, listen, bro.
I mean, look, here, well, let me say this. If you're like,
You done played, hold on.
If you're like
You done
Aaron
played
Rodgers or
5 months.
somebody
You done
older,
played 5 months of football. You done banged your head, your body hurt, your ankles, your shoulders.
Right.
I don't want to go down to Orlando and play in a powder puff, two-touch, whatever you want to call it, football game and in a bunch of skill crap. I don't want to do it. So what I want to do is I want to go to my house. I want to chill. I want to get me a vacay in. I might go to the Super Bowl just for the festivities. I always went to the Super Bowl. I went to the game one time, I think, maybe twice. And the one time I went to the game, I was working with the media, right? I was working, doing TV twice. I did the Baltimore, the Giants game, and I did the Colts and the Saints games in Miami. Mm-hmm. I think both those games were in Florida, by the way. And so those are the ones that I went to. As a player, I have never gone to a Super Bowl, nor do I care to go. It's ridiculous. It's all about corporations and being corporate and all of it. I'd rather sit at home and chill and cook my food, have friends over, chill out, bathrooms right there. You know, just have fun. I don't want to go to no game. And I do not want to go to the Pro Bowl. When I went over to the Ihalani, which was the place where we went 90, whatever it was, I was an alternate. Kind of like Will. But I was the first alternate. But to go over there, it was fun. I hung at Mid Seattle. It was a good friend of mine, Junior Seattle. We had our families and things like that. We went over there. You weren't born yet. CJ was born.
Right.
Just like 1 year old or a little less.
Right.
And
Anyway. You said it was fun. You had a good time. And you talk about the guys want to be on vacation.
But we wasn't playing no daggone flag football and doing drills, and we were having fun drinking Mai Tais at the pool, bro.
You can still go,
that's the fun we had.
You can still go do that during this week. What I'm saying is it really is more like a vacation.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Just like CJ Mosley, obviously, I'm great friends with him, and his brother Jamie's my best friend. Like when he gets the Pro Bowl nods, like his whole family goes. I think it was in Vegas last time they went. They all went to Vegas. They enjoyed it, right? Like it's. I'm just saying, like, why wouldn't guys look at it like that? Like, treat it as a vacation. That's what it is. And you're right. Now you don't have to waste time putting pads on and doing all that. Like, to me, I think like I saw some clips. I didn't watch it live last night. I was playing Tonk. But I was seeing the clips though.
Right, because you don't care. That's my point.
It's not that I don't care. I was playing Tonk.
Nobody watched that crap. Nobody watched the crap.
Okay, I was
at
watching the clips.
Ratings, they were down.
They probably are down. Look, I get it's totally different. Like back when, man, Sean Taylor, right? I mean, he was taking heads off in the Pro Bowl. Like, that's totally different. I understand it's not the same. But I'm saying if it was me and I was playing and I got, first of all, I would just be appreciative of getting the nods. Even though we all know, like you said, nowadays, like it's always like the third or fourth, what do they call them? Like, not
alternates.
Alternates, there you go.
Alternates.
It's always alternates, though, because a lot of these guys choose not to go for sure. But I'm just saying, to me, I think it's dodgeball to me is kind of silly.
Right. I mean, that was the case back when I played the 90s. I might have had 5 or 6 Pro.
Right.
I mean, because nobody went.
So that's why you're acting like that, because you're like, these guys nowadays, it's easy to get Pro Bowls because they always go to like the third or fourth alternates because people turn it. I respect that. You're being real about that, but there might be a little saltiness there. And that's fine. I don't blame you.
No, there's no saltiness.
I don't blame you. You're right. You probably would have had a handful.
Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl last year, And Mac Jones couldn't even hold his starting job. Let's be real. Now, I put a lot
he
of
made
it
it last year?
Yeah.
Are you sure? It might have been the year before that. I think it was rookie year.
Whatever it was. He made the Pro Bowl.
No. I think it might have been, no. I don't think it was last year. I could be right. I think it was the year before. He actually did play some good football.
Whatever it was, you get my point. Will Anderson Jr. had a nice rookie year, but still, he should not have been the rookie
sacks.
of the year. It should have been Brian Branch. Brian Branch outplayed all of them.
Wait. Will was the rookie of the year?
Brian Branch should have been the rookie of the year.
I don't think they announced it.
Yeah. Where you been at?
I thought that was some. I don't know.
Will Anderson Jr. and the quarterback was the offensive player of the year and the defensive rookie player of the year.
Are you sure? I don't think they.
No.
I am. I think maybe one person. Did they do it already? Chat. Am I tripping?
Yes. Dude,
I don't know.
yeah.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. But anyway,
I ain't got to figure it out. I already know that. My point is, congratulations to Will Anderson Jr. But the reality is, you might be the fifth, sixth guy, but what I'm telling you is guys don't normally, especially if they're older guys, but what you're saying, a lot of younger guys go, but a lot of older guys are like, man, I ain't doing this. I'm just telling you, they got my attitude to where it's, hey, I'm going to go chill out and go drink my ties. 205-342-9904. Let's get right back in it. What I do want to talk about is Caden Proctor, because the Iowa came out and basically said self-reported. That's what they call it when you self-report and say, hey, we might have made contact with said player before we should have, because Caden Proctor had no sense in getting on the TV doing the interview and just having diarrhea of the mouth. Right? 'Cause he just started talking. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why don't you tell me everything? Tell everything. Tell what everybody's done.
Well, that's why we have the SIDs here. And that's why they don't normally let freshmen talk to the media, because sometimes they're not prepared.
But people made an uproar about it, and mostly Alabama fans got on Twitter and was like about the tampering. And so now, guess what they had to do? They had to self-report. My point is, it's nothing, absolutely nothing. And the NCAA can't even monitor themselves. They got this whole Tennessee thing. Now, Tennessee is fired back and suing them, right? So they try to get with Florida State. Florida State went at them. I mean, they're not going to win anything. If anything, it'll be a slap on the wrist. It'll be a fine of $5,000, whatever. Who cares? They got the number one offensive tackle in last year's recruiting class. That's all they care about. That's why they self-reported, and they're going to laugh about it. They're probably still laughing about it right now. My point is, tampering is happening. Tampering is always happened. People said Alabama tampered, right? I can tell you this story of a player here at the University of South Carolina that said Alabama offered him hundreds of thousands of dollars to come and play there as a safety. That's something that was going wrong here. This is like maybe it was his freshman year, Nick Imiwani or something like that. I'm drawing a blank on his last name.
Why are you throwing names
for South
out there?
Carolina.
Dang, he the feds, man.
I'm saying that's the player that they wanted. I didn't say he said it, but the player that they wanted. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying my point is tampering happens with every program. Don't act like one program does it and your program don't. That's all I'm saying. These are the things that are happening that's causing coaches to leave college football. Like if I wouldn't want to coach college football. I wouldn't. I used to love to want to coach because I love the aspect of being with young high school guys, helping them make that transition from young men or high school young men to grown men. Right? You like to see that transition on and off the field. But now the way things are structured and set up, you don't like this stuff. You can't like it, right? These kids are doing videos. We got Colorado and Dion and his son. I mean, they said his sons bought him a $3-point-something million house in the mountains.
They did.
Then they rolled up the other day, I mean, with Lambos and Lambo trucks. And this is college football coaches. I love Dion. I love what he's saying. He's a true man of God. But I'm saying, but this is where we at. We're selling money. We're selling all Gucci. We're selling Louis Vuitton and the watches on the sideline. Man, my coach would have thrown that daggone watch and burn it up in college. My coach in college, Joe Morrison, wouldn't even let us in the bowl game. We were down in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Liberty Bowl and playing Indiana. And bro, we never played in cold weather, and it was freezing. A storm came through. This was 19, maybe 88, 89, and we had the heaters out there, and all them players were hugged up around the heaters. Even the coach, Al Grove, who coached in the pros a long time, New York Giants. Y'all know the name, Virginia. Al Grove's at South Carolina, was my defense coordinator. Twice in New York and here South Carolina. Charlie Strong was my GA. I got many stories about him being a GA, what we used to do to him. But anyway, Al Grove pants caught on fire, and Joe Morrison saw it. He came and snatched that heater and slung it right up and unplugged. He wouldn't even let us wear long sleeves.
Right.
He told us we were soft. How you gonna win a game you out here cold and shivering and want to put all this crap? He wouldn't let us wear no long sleeve. But now these kids got Gucci and watches, and now they got what do you call it? The chain, turnover chain at Miami, and pads and belts and all this ridiculous stuff. This is what college football is, and I don't like it. So I'm asking you, do you like it? Do you like what you're seeing right now? Because to me, everybody deserves a trophy. This is what we do. No. We need discipline. We need foundation of football coming back and stop all this chapsticking and all this stuff that's going on. All right, Tommy from Ramos and others, we see you 205-342.
Hold up.
Maybe you can go to break. 9904, Tide 100.9. You can talk after the script. The man is playing the music. We'll be back in a moment. And then you can bring us back, and then you can say what you need. I'll shut up. Be back in a moment.
All right, now we're back rolling. I think sounds good. Let me see real quick.
Abbreviation of the program will add Kennington Smith III to the conversation.
Yeah, still sounds fine. What are y'all's thoughts on that? I agree with everything he's saying, but I'm not going to let him off the hook, guys, because I'm sure everybody that's in here, I see a lot of people that they all been listening to the show a while. He talks every day about how he works for a collective. So he needs to make up his mind, right? One minute he's complaining, he's working for the collective, doing all this. We need to raise this. And now he's complaining about it. I mean, I'm with him, but CT, that's what I was saying. He made it seem like I'm just out of the loop. It was the Pro Football Writers Association. I think that's what PFWA is. Let me look. I just had it pulled up. Pro Football Writers. Yeah. So I don't know if they did the official announcement of the Rookies of the Year. She said, Dr. Chris said, "This is real talk, though." No, I'm with them. I agree. If anything, I'm the one that's been saying like the whole money thing. Like, I'm not for just paying people just lump sums of money, especially when we're not, at least for the most part, we're not teaching them financial responsibility. It's a waste. Like, I'm not trying to pocket watch, but like, we're giving kids money just to go blow it on things that are just materialistic objects that have no return when they could be setting themselves up long term. To me, it's not smart. And welcome back to this Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. 12:30 a.m. WTVC. We are the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports, and we are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. If you're in any type of pain, you guys know the drill. Foot pain, knee pain, back pain, hip pain, you name it. Head on over to the Good Feet Store. They'll take great care of you with those premium art supports that are designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain, get you in that proper balance. So go check them out. It's try before you buy. You've got nothing to lose. You can schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. Or if you're in Tuscaloosa, head on over to Midtown Village right now. Or to find the nearest location near you, head to goodfeet.com and set that up right there. Again, that's Good Feet, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. So
what you got?
I got a couple things. So let me backtrack real quick. Number one, about the Rookies of the Year. They announced the PFWA, which is Pro Football Writers Association. I don't know if that's the official account or the official award, right? So, but I
We
don't.
got C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson, right?
Correct, but I'm saying I don't know. Is that the same as like the official NFL Rookie of the Year or whatever? I didn't know that. That's why I was acting like that. It's not like I'm oblivious. I just didn't know if they did the official NFL awards because I thought they would. To me, I thought they do that when they announce the MVP. Do they not?
Might be at the awards thing. I don't know what they call it.
So you made it seem like I'm like living under a rock, and I actually was right. So thank you on that. Two, I agree with everything you're saying about the NIL stuff. Like you're right. Like, and I know I'm a younger person, but, and I say this all the time, I think it is negligence to just be handing, that type of money out to 17, 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids that you're not teaching them what to do with it, right? Like, to me, that's negligence. Like, if anything, you're setting them up. You think you're setting them up financially, but in my opinion, you're putting them in a bad position because you're not teaching them how to manage money correctly. So what are they going to do down the road when money like that doesn't just come often? And when that money is not coming to you in that same capacity, how are you going to manage what you have, right? I just think, I don't know, I think we could just do so much better at helping them do stuff that's actually worth it with that. I know jewelry, you can get insurance. I know technically the price of gold can increase. I know there's value somewhat in watches that like Rolexes, but bust down watches and Rolexes aren't worth anything. And these jewelers are hitting these dudes over the head. They're taking, sorry, I'm gonna hit my mic because I'm getting animated. They're taking old Rolexes, right? Like 80s models, which are fine. They hold value when they're regular, when they have box and papers. They're getting watches that they're paying maybe $3,000 for because they have no box or papers. They're just putting a bunch of diamonds on it and charging them out the wazoo. Like, that's the stuff that drives me nuts. But again, it's none of my business. But all I'm gonna ask you though is, you always talk about you work for a collective. So how do you go? That seems like there's a conflict there, right? Because you're saying how sick and tired you are, this and that, but technically you somewhat are influencing that, right? Because as a collective or as part of a collective, your job is to get these kids these paydays, right? So what are y'all doing in terms of...
Our job is to raise money. My job is to help raise money because it's part of the game.
So that means you're kind of part of the problem too for college football at the same time, though.
No, why am I problem? Because what we do, we don't do that here. We don't have Lambos and things that we're seeing around the country. We let dudes make money off their name, image, and likeness. We have people do social media things for companies. What I do is we're setting up a store. If you want to know exactly what I'm doing for this, me and my friend who owns a big company that you heard about on this show. Matter of fact, got his card right here, RSH Decor, rshdecor.com. Check them out. Do a lot of outdoor furniture. We're building the store that athletes can have their own store that they can sell merchandise for themselves. They can create T-shirts, hats, hoodies, different things, and sell it. And they will get the money from that.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. We're creating a ton of stores so that people is just not handing out money, but they're actually getting something for giving something, right? So that's what we're doing here at the Carolina Rise. I'm setting this up with my friend Scott Pop Gamecocks is what I call him, and we doing this. He loves the Gamecocks, so part of the thing that we're doing also is trying to work things out with the coaches to where. They do autograph signs, shirts and different things happen in ball games. Capture those big Gamecock moments that they can sign, and we sell those with a percentage of those things going right back to the program to make sure if it's basketball, guess what? Women's basketball, I'm going to make sure Dawn Staley gets the money for women's basketball. If it's soccer, I'm going to make sure they get the money for the soccer. It's not going to be one collected to where it's going to be football dominated, which is happening with most of these collectives. The other sports who people don't care about don't get anything, right? They get the peanuts, they get the crumbs, right, from the football teams. But we want to be balanced. We want to be fair. We want to make sure everybody gets something. But you're gonna have to work. It's not giving. But we'll create the stores. We do transactions. And then we give back a percentage to the NIL, right? So they can have different things.
No, I respect that.
That's
I
what
like
I'm
that
doing. I'm not about just saying, hey, let me raise $10 million and then I'm going to sit here and give these these players. No, I don't roll like that. Right? I told them, they know me. I don't roll like that. So when I talk to players, They know. I tell them about that. I tell them about, dude, you're a 1099. I tell them about you're going to have to pay taxes. I'm telling them about these different things that they need to know about that a lot of schools are not talking about. So, that's what I bring to the table as a former athlete, as an NFL guy that understands marketing and how all this stuff works. I had to deal with all this stuff for 10, 12 years. Even after I finished playing, I get all this stuff, and I try to give this to these young men. But the reality is, we have, as fan bases, and we have told these kids that they're so big right now. We've told these kids that they're so great, and how much we want them on social media. And we got look what happened to Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams thinks he's a rock star. I'm just saying, it ain't Ryan Williams' fault. It's not his fault, because people have made recruits feel like they are the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right.
This is a chapsticking I'm talking about.
Right.
So they feel it, right? But then when they leave, when they do something that you don't want, right, or choose to transfer, or whatever it is,
pitchforks come out,
right? Get in a little bit of trouble. What do? Not tell them. They lift you up to tell you right the freak down. The higher you go, the further that fall is going to be, right? So this is what Corey Miller does for the collective Carolina Rise. And I do it based on, as a former player, because I know a lot of people that are acting in these collectives have never been in the locker room, have never been in a situation, have never been in a meeting or a sideline or had these types of things. You need to involve people that understand these things.
Right.
And that these young people are listened to, even though it's hard. I'm telling you, they are, because everybody else have made them great.
Yeah,
right?
no, I respect all that.
And it used to be, and I'll shut up about that, it used to be Nick Saban will have to de-recruit. Me and him talked about this. This conversation has happened before, because they had to build young 18 and 17 years up so high that when they got to Tuscaloosa, he talked about having to de-recruit these players. So that conversation, with Austin Mack and, Ryan Williams wouldn't happen with Nick Saban, because he was focused on, I got to make sure these kids understand I got 50, 60 more 5 and 4 stars right here that you just ain't getting nothing handed to you.
Right.
Right? You got to work. You got to put the work in. It's going to cost you something. Success costs you something. And the reality is, what's happening to college football right now, they want the prize before they do the work. And we're giving it to them. And therefore, we're not getting the best out of them, because there's no way a young man's going to work when he already got the prize. Most of them. Some of them will. You would, because you had a different kind of character. But most of them don't. They want just to get, they winning by being a high school gem and doing it in high school, and then boom, we got the game. How much can I get? How much can I get? What am I worth? Well, so-and-so got this. What can I? And they ain't played one freaking down. Manning, prime example at Texas, right? They gave him all. He was the highest NIL dude, right? He got all that because of his name. But if you watch his tape, there wasn't a whole lot to be desired for me. But he was a man that playing at a low Catholic school against very inadequate competition, right? So people paid, he got $8 million worth or whatever. That's what they say. I don't know how true it is. But think about it. You gonna pay this man $8 million and he can't even touch the field? If I'm gonna give you $8 million, you gonna beat the guy that I got out right now. I ain't giving you $8 million to sit here 2-3 years and hope that you grow and be something.
Right.
Nah, bro. So this is what we're dealing with. I mean, the King Proctors and things. These are the things that we're seeing. And to me, college football has taken a turn for the worse. All of it is grouped in there together.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I respect all that. I mean, I guess the only thing is just still back to my original point, like, what is being done to teach them financial literacy, right? Like, what is educating them on finances look like? Like, are y'all telling them about CDs? Are you telling them about IRAs, right? Are you telling them about bonds, right? Are you teaching them how to invest in the stock market, right? Like, that's all I'm wondering. But see, to me, that's
now
where
we
it
have a
becomes
problem.
negligent.
The way you're going with that, where you're going with that, is a problem.
Whoa.
Because now we treat them like professionals, right?
Treat them like
because
professionals.
Now
No, you're treating them like young men that at some point they need to learn these things because that's how the world works. The world doesn't work like you're just going to be paid $50,000, $100,000, where you can go spend $50,000 on a diamond chain and watch set. That's not even worth half.
Who's got time to tell them that? Them coaches don't care about that.
Have time, man. You better find time. What do you mean they don't have time? You do. Man, look, if you hire all these other people, you're telling me you can't have some type of financial advisor on staff to help manage the account of all these guys? Come on, man.
When you gonna learn?
Bro, dude,
when
my
you gonna
financial
learn?
advisor
These people care
with,
about wins and losses.
A number of athletes, professional athletes.
These folks, most of them.
You hire one of those guys to keep in the system, in the school, to work with all these guys. If anything, I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think without doing that, like what you're describing is created by that. And I will say, you're speaking facts in terms of we're giving these kids stuff before they're getting anything, and it is leading to like when we were in school here, man. Again, I'd say it all the time. My first year we made like $100 a month. It was nothing, and I'm telling you right now, man, the way our team, like our work ethic, like we had dudes from situations where they had to have it, right? Like dudes had no choice but to make it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we had a couple guys that probably were getting, you know what I'm saying, good treatment, you know, from whatever. But I'm like, everybody had the right mindset. And I do feel like I can actually see a change in the mindset of a lot of guys because, like you said, I mean, they're given everything before they even get started. And then you combine that with the ability to leave. I mean, I feel like we're instilling, you know, weakness in the minds of kids in terms of facing adversity. When things don't go their way, they immediately jump in the portal. Like you hardly see guys stick it through certain situations anymore. Then, like I said, I think it's just kind of a mess. But anyway, I just was curious. I like the stuff that you guys are doing because that actually is genuinely NIL, you know, utilizing their name, image, and likeness. But I do just think if you're going to be throwing out all this money, you best believe you need to teach them or give them some type of course, even though I know they hold these courses. The guys, they get the text on their phone. They're like, oh, hell, we got a team meeting at 3, and they already know it's some type of extracurricular meeting, and it ends up being like John Parker Wilson I think he used to be in, you know, finance. He's like an advisor or something, but came and spoke to the team talking about these things that I'm talking about now. Half the people were barely even paying attention. They could care less, right? But I just think if they knew how important it was to, like, man, like, I don't think it's almost like a cheat code. If you have an opportunity to get a lump sum of money like that and you manage it the right way, I mean, you can easily double your money, set yourself up long term. And it's just like no one's talking about that. I don't understand that, but anyway.
Like we got people on hold, and I want phone calls the rest of the way, by the way. But let me just say this real simple.
You been talking. I ain't even get to talk.
Most people don't care. Most people, you saying this, but the reality is they don't care. Christian, they don't care. And it's hard to hear.
I care.
Because people don't care about these young men like that. They'll say it, but when the rubber hits the road, when things are happening in their lives, and they don't put that color on whatever school is, most people can give a crap. That's just the reality of it. We'll be back. Ellis, Tommy from Romulus, and others, 205-342-9904. We're going to phone calls the rest of the way. Back in a moment.
That man make it seem like no, we gotta go phone calls. Talk. He's been talking. Christian, you care more about the ball and process more than they do now, but don't you think it's all money now? It seems like that, right? I don't think it's like that with everybody. I mean, we've seen examples from guys, you know, here in our program that decided to stay here. They probably could have gone and made more money. And again, even with me saying all this about the financial side of things, like I get it. If, you know, somebody's offering you more money, you're considering that. I mean, that's hard to turn down, but at the same time, like, I guess it goes back, like, what's your why, right? Like, right. Are you going to go to a different school to make all that money just so you can buy more designer clothes and bags, things that don't matter, right? Like, to me, that's pointless. Like, if you're saying, oh, I can go here and I can set myself up, I mean, I at least will entertain that, but I don't know, man. Things are just different. Yeah, G. I'm not saying they don't speak on it at all, but I don't think they're doing enough, right? Like, I'm not just talking. I'm not saying here. I know here we try to bring people in. They do try to educate guys on those things. But if I'm being transparent with you, like when I was there, I mean, we did it every now and then, but we also weren't making money from NIL. I'm just saying, like with how, how large NIL has become, like I feel like we have no choice but to do a much better job of that.
Friday, 2:34 here in Columbia, South Carolina. That'll be 1:34 for you guys in Tuscaloosa, Central Time, Alabama. Of course, we done kind of hit a bunch of things on the top of the day. Let's go to the phones. Tommy from Romulus, Ellis, others that's holding. We phone calls all the way. It's all about you. Let's go, Mr. Rogers. To the phones.
Wait, real quick, on our Twitter page, we just got a response from Mike. He said, Christian, listened to your show and totally agree with educating kids about the stock market. I've been a broker here in Columbus, Georgia since 1987. It's very important for them to be taught to invest for the future. And he's spot on, man. I mean, if you just go look at like how investing works, I mean, I will say this just real quick. Tosh Lupoy, who was my defensive coordinator my senior year, but he was my position coach for 4 of my 5 years. He actually, we walked into a meeting one day, just a regular meeting, and I don't know what made him talk about this. I can't remember. We obviously didn't have NIL or anything, but I think he said he was having a conversation with his advisor, like before the meeting, prior to the meeting, and he starts talking to us about investing, and starts basically explaining like how compound interest works and how investing into mutual funds and index funds and things of that nature, how that works and how it can set you up and your money's making money. And I remember all of us are just sitting there because me, I was buying and selling cars since I was 14, and before that I was buying and selling phones and electronics on Craigslist. I've been into all that, but a lot of the guys that were hearing him talk about it were blown away because they had never heard of anything like that. And I'm talking about freshmen all the way to seniors. They're like, what? And so I will say, I respected that he was kind of, giving us a little game on that. But all I'm saying is I just hope we're doing that, because now that these guys have the opportunity to make that type of money, I mean, there's so many opportunities for them if they're educated the right way and they have trustworthy people, because you do have to be careful about that too, because people can take advantage of you with that stuff as well. Anyway, I'll shut up now about that. I just care about guys and make sure they're set after football. And that's all that is.
Right. That's why I always said you need to work for somebody like Kalen DeBoer. Need to hire a person like you that's been there and done that they can relate to. That's
I would love that. Tell Greg Byrne to give me a call. Y'all reach out to Greg Byrne. Tell him I can be a good good advisor, something like that. I don't know.
They always say until the rubber hit the road. That's all I'm saying. To the phones we go. Tommy from Rollins, welcome in.
Wow, guys. You started out the show playing music about lipstick on the collar. Which one of y'all got a mutual fund in whiz saying you get the stain out of your collar? Because I know when you come home, I met your wife. The boat paddle's going to be waiting for you, pal, upside the head.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute,
She'll
Tommy.
be the minister. No, she'll be the angel of death upside your head. You won't be the minister of pain no more.
Tommy, what? I didn't hear that song about the lipstick on. Who played that? Did Noah do that?
I guess, because there's all of a sudden you were talking and you went dead for about 45 seconds. I was riding down the road. I said, I met his wife. She's a nice woman. I'm going to vouch for her. I'm like, she's innocent. She didn't do it on purpose.
Tommy, I'm a nice guy. If I said anything about the chapstick stuff and lipstick, you know what I mean.
Uh-oh.
I know. I was just being funny. I'm like, my God, his wife owned Mary Kay Cosmetics. Just reduced it. I'm like, my goodness.
Hey, well,
No,
Tommy,
really.
just for the record, she's in Greensboro on a girls' trip so she ain't listening right. Maybe she is, but I'm home and I can I'm free. I'm like, I'm free. I can just be me.
Yeah, you have no shoes on. Yeah, you're free.
I ain't got no shoes on, and I did what Ryan Williams did. Have you seen Ryan Williams? Did you know that he paints he have polish on his nails? Did you know that?
toes? No.
No, on his hands.
And no.
Yeah, he does a manicure and he gets his nails painted. So I went and got my toes done. I got me a nice clear pink on my toes. I got a manicure.
No, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
No, come on, man. Cut it out.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like pink, like the toe. You know what I mean? Like a.
You need to talk to Ellis about that stuff. I'm not an expert on my toes and painting. No, you need to talk to Ellis.
Okay. I went with that.
Yeah. I mean, Ellis is more of an expert on toe getting painted. I mean, I'm completely lost. If I did know, I am going to lie through my teeth and say, I don't know what the heck y'all talking about.
Right.
Oh, God. Let me stop.
Wow.
No, really, talking about these agents who look at the thing, I'm saying over half of them don't care about the athlete. This is what the university ought to do. You're going to have NIL, you're going to have all this, and what you're doing in South Carolina, I think it's a fine idea. You're teaching them a value of $1. All right. One, they need to get a tax lawyer and a financial planner. None of this guy, like, getting these watches from 2020, and somebody put a couple of Chromio diamond, fake diamond on it like that. No, they need solid advice and solid financial for the future. Like only 1% is going to get to the NFL.
Right.
True.
So, I mean, no. And I don't want to hear a sad story. And it's going to come up in the next 5 or 7 years. Like, well, man, this guy was a 5-star. He was a number one overall recruit. Now, he living in government section houses. He had millions. What happened to his money? Yeah, he got yanked around. He didn't have good advisors. That's where this was the NCAA, in my opinion, and kicked the can down the road and kept on kicking the can, and they can't see the can no more.
Dang.
They have lost the can. And they need to do something about it. It's something bad is going to happen.
I mean, I like what Christian said. I think that's 100. About the education. I think we've done something like that here, as far as bringing in a CPA guy to talk with these young men and helping. Because the reality of it is so many, not just what they can do and not, or what not to do, but it's kind of like hey, create a 501c3. So now that basically you can use your car payments, you can use different things as write-offs. I mean, there's so many different things these young men can learn and grow from. But my point was, these coaches, they are so focused on what they get transfer portal. They're so focused on, still high school recruiting. They're so focused on recruiting their own roster. Unfortunately, you got to do that right now. I got to keep my own guys that are already here. I got to re-recruit them again when now they're on my roster. So,
you talk about Ryan Grubb or whatever his name is. He comes back to Seattle. I mean, I wish him well, because guess what? Didn't the Boston college coach, or the head coach, gave it up?
Yeah, he did went to Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see more and more of that, because this is a nightmare. And the bad thing is, this is going to trickle down to high school football. It got out of hand. It's the Wild Wild West. And you can't get the genie back in the bottle. And that's a bad thing.
It's a mess, man.
It's
disturbing. That's why I was saying earlier, I went on this whole rant, because this is not what, when I look right now, I'm looking at my helmet, my Gamecock helmet, and your mind goes back to all your friends, all your, the training camp, the bus ride. We used to have to take the bus ride from our stadium over to the practice field. It was 2 miles from where the stadium was. Guys cramping up, to road trips, to bowl game. So that stuff to me, when I had my stroke, I heard from so many former teammates, right, calling me. Some didn't even have my number. They found out how to get my number, to check it in. About 30-something years ago. And some of them I haven't seen in 30 years, but reached out. I mean, that's what I'm saying. These young men, unfortunately, are not going to be able to have that, because they're bouncing around. And relationships is everything, man. I mean, you build those. I mean, you've been weddings of each other. You see the kids grow up to like, different things like that. So I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's absolutely sad what's going on with college football. I believe 150% that guys should get paid money. But I think the fact when you left it, as we keep using and probably overuse Wild Wild West, but that's exactly what it is. And there's no guardrails. Guys are just doing what they want to do, right? I mean, it's about the money more than the experience of being a college athlete, building those relationships, and, you're just not going to have that no more. You're not going to have the fan-player relationship, where you go out, and I go out in the public, and, I'm still known as a gainer wherever I go, even today in Columbia, South Carolina. People will tell you, I've been watching, I watched you, 30-something years ago. I've been a fan for 60 years. I mean, those things are pretty cool, right, Tommy?
Yeah. Well, just like Chris was pointing out last week or beginning this week, he was at university 5 years. I always heard this story. I'll name the school. They always say, if you sit on the Kentucky basketball bench and you never got to play, people say, why transfer? He said, sitting on that bench or being on the team that won an SEC title in basketball or a national championship, I could go anywhere in the state of Kentucky and get help because I was alumni. And that's how Coach Ryan was with his play, because he started funds for his former football player children to go to college to the University of Alabama, because he said if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have the success I had as a head coach. He gave back. I mean, and you build teamship, camaraderie, a brotherhood, and like in softball and women's sport, you build up a sisterhood. I mean, it's just something that will never, ever be taken away from you except by death when you die.
Wow.
And so, and you hate to see that, because I'm going to tell you this, in the next 5 years, this keep on going like it is, people is going to sour on college football.
Yeah.
It really is.
Or it's going to be what the UFL is, or whatever this new league. It's going to be that. I mean, it's going to be
Like
a farm
league or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a farm league for the National Football League. That's what it's going to turn to, because, you got to keep the amateurism intact. And right now, when we talk about money, it's not amateurism anymore. It's business, right? What did Isaiah Bond say when he was this whole thing with Texas? He didn't say that I'm looking for about the fan base and building relationships and blah, blah. He said, this is business. It's business. So that tells you right now, the amateurism is out.
Well, where does he go back to? Just real quick, 'cause you make a good point. Like I feel like if you leave as a freshman, you go play 2 years at another program, you'll still have your friends from the first program, but then you'll probably settle in with the second program because you spent 2 or 3 years at the second program. But a guy like Isaiah Bond, who had the big catch against Auburn, he was here was it 3 years, 2 or 3 years, right? But then he leaves and goes to Texas. I hate to say this, but I don't think he'll be so welcomed in back by the fan base, so to speak, because he left for Texas. Then he only played at Texas 1 year, so like I feel like a guy like him, kind of
he's like that catch would have profited him
for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life,
yeah.
He could have been signing autographs and pictures about that catch of him for the rest of his life.
Daniel Moore was doing the print too, yeah. So he definitely would have been.
Yeah, he's definitely. If I'm Daniel Moore, I'll be down there with like.
you only capture Jalen just making the throw. You just kind of exclude.
Nah,
the catch.
it ain't gonna be the same. You gotta have the whole completion. Tommy, we love you, brother.
All right, man. Real quick, I know you gotta go. Are you coming down for A-Day?
Yes.
Okay.
Are y'all gonna have the smokers going?
I don't know. Everybody's fussing at me. I wish
you and Mike
but...
from where's Mike from? Opelika and Ellis and.
I'm gonna say a funny story about that. I met Mike the very first time he done the show, and me and him a great time. Is I'll see you next week. I never saw him again. I'm afraid I'd run him off.
Daggum, Tommy, what's wrong?
I know, I'm terrible. No, I didn't know if y'all were going to be at the restaurant again. No, I haven't talked to J-Rob. I haven't talked to Ellis. So I don't.
We're going to be somewhere, but we're definitely going to do something special for A-Day. And then, of course, South Carolina's coming to Tuscaloosa. We're going to do a big, big deal for that. So just, We're gonna be good, man. But I'm looking forward to getting back down as weather warm up, and I'm almost back to 100, getting up out of the house. So I'm right at the door, brother.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad.
All right, man. We love you, Tommy. Appreciate your phone call. Yes, sir. Be well. Have a great weekend. Ellis and others, stay right there. We'll finish up with you coming back here in just a moment. On a Friday, the Miller's Edge Tide, 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Back in.
Yeah, y'all see that? This NIL list I got pulled up, man. That's crazy. Shador Sanders 4.7. So I mean, shoot, him and his brothers came together for that house. It makes sense. And then you're making that much. But what's even crazier, Brock Purdy, who's about to play in the Super Bowl, and I get this, it's contractual things from the NFL, but Brock Purdy's base is like 800, something like that. He's about to be playing in the Super Bowl in a week or two, and you got college quarterback. And I'm not knocking Shador, but I mean, Shador hadn't even made the playoffs yet. They won like 4 or 5 games. Now, I know the defense was off. I'm just saying, it's wild, man. He's making over 5 times what Brock's making, almost 6 times, I believe. Yeah, Brock's base salary is $870,000.
Welcome back. Final segment here of hour number 2 on a Friday. Hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. Been a great couple hours. We've been talking about a lot of really good stuff, good serious stuff. I always like we're getting these in-depth conversations. Again, we started out with about Ryan Grubb. Don't know for sure what his deal is going to be. Christian have said he's out recruiting right now. You said he's going to stay, but reports out there saying that. Carl Weathers, who appeared in Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky films, opposite of Sylvester Stallone, died on Tuesday. I didn't know that.
Dang. Hey, real fast before we hit the phones. I mentioned the Kane Womack thing that I was reading. I don't know if you got to read it, but just real quick, it was his former quarterback at South Alabama that they were interviewing, and asking him kind of what can Alabama fans expect out of Kane Womack, and basically he said a number of things, but he basically talked about how he understands what players go through because he played the game. His dad was a coach, longtime coach. I'm pretty sure he played at Arkansas. So he played in the SEC, but he described him as a grinder, a guy that is going to work hard, all that good stuff. But in terms of kind of more so what he's faced in practice against Kane Womack's defenses, this is what he had to say. He said, you're going to have landmarks as a zone dropping team, but for him it's more vision dropping. You're going to have to play off the quarterback's eyes, which is tough because a lot of guys at college level can't use their eyes as well as they want. So guys kind of flow or melt. So where their eyes are going and turnovers happen, breakups happen. So basically kind of what I had been explaining on the show the past week or two, and kind of what I got from watching the tape is that it's definitely more of a zone scheme, spot drops. I'll be honest, it's not my favorite style of defense. It's not. If I'm just being transparent, it's not. But we'll have to see. But I will say this about like the melting, off the quarterback's eyes. When I was down at the Senior Bowl, I'm pretty sure it was D'Amico Ryans. He taught that technique a lot. As a matter of fact, I think I saw, was it Christian Harris? I think I saw Christian Harris kind of play. He came up with that pick 6 in the playoff game, with that similar technique. He was like flat foot reading the quarterback's eyes, broke on the football, made a big play. So
very nice play.
Yeah, extremely nice play. So that part is, I like playing off the eyes. It's just the spot drops, man. Just coming from a pattern match system, I'll just have to see
Well,
it. I just
Nick
got to see
Saban
it.
is
I
down
gotta
in
see it.
Jupiter, Florida. So
I know, but that's not the point. But it's the philosophy of it. That's why I keep telling people. Everybody keeps talking about 4.25. It's not 4.25. We've been running 4.25s 90% of the time. That's not it. It's the philosophy of it. The single high and then the spot drops. I'm very curious to see how that looks, because it's just not necessarily what I'm used to or what I would prefer. But again, I'm not the head coach, so it doesn't matter. All right, let's head to Ellis.
let Ellis close us out. We got about 3 or 4 minutes.
There we go.
Ellis, welcome in.
Roll Tide, gentlemen.
There it is.
Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide, Ellis.
That's right. I'm finishing up my last job and going home and getting everything packed up so I can head down there.
Oh, that's right, because
you're coming to the Mississippi State game.
Basketball, yeah.
Yes, sir. Coming to the Mississippi State ball game tomorrow night.
Nice.
That's going to be a good one. But
everybody says I paid too much for my ticket.
I might come.
All right. Well, everybody says I paid too much for my ticket.
What'd you pay, if you don't mind me asking?
I paid $74.
That's not bad.
Were they sold out? I'll be honest, Ellis. Normally, I just kind of walk.
No, they wasn't sold out. I got it from Ticket Center.
I hope it's a good seat
online.
though.
Maybe it's a really good seat. I was about to say, Ellis, I'm not gonna lie to you. I normally just walk in there and just get one of those little $10 tickets and kind of just find somewhere to sit. But you're coming from out of town, so you didn't want to risk that. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit in the nosebleed section. It's in section E, row 24.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll see you there. I'm gonna go check out the game. So I'll E24. Maybe I'll see if I can come find you.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll have my title towel in hand.
There you go.
Yeah, you tied a towel, and you were with that. What's his name? Bama Blitz guy. Willie might be there too.
Oh, he's been
yeah. I'd like to meet him.
Man,
I'd like to meet him.
Well, it seems like if you just go over there to where they work out at the
complex,
now more, you probably find him. Seems like he got full access.
Dang.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
He's always shooting videos. He shoot videos for them about every week. Seems like.
Yeah, I know. I notice them. But I'm like I said, I'm getting ready. But I'm glad y'all talked about the deal with the young fellers. You know, we hope that the schools that they're at learns them about tax time. You know, with all that money they got, you know, I hope they know they got to pay taxes. I hope somebody is teach them that. You know,
yeah, that's important. And they trust me. They don't get me wrong. They bring people in to educate guys. I'm just saying, with when I was in school, it would be like one time in the spring, maybe one time during training camp, just doing it to kind of help introduce that stuff to us players. But that was before NIL. I think now with NIL, I think you have to be educating players more than ever with the way money is being dished out right now.
Oh yeah, because they'd be in big trouble if they don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
If they just ignore it and just go, oh well, you know.
Yep. Well, Ellis, we appreciate it, man. We got to make room for Ryan Fowler. I see him knocking at the door, so I need to make sure I get out of his way. But I appreciate you checking in with us, and I'll make sure I look for you. It was E24. I'm gonna look for you tomorrow.
P.
That's
P
right.
is in people. 24.
Oh, P.
P.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
P is in. He paid $74 for those tickets. Roll Tide, roll.
Appreciate it, Ellis. All right. We got to get out of here. Real quick, just want to tell you about our good friends again at Off-Road Performance Direct. If you're in need for that lift kit, tires, wheels, all that good stuff for your truck, SUV, head on over to Off-Road Performance in Northport, Alabama. Again, that's 4751 Lake Sherwood Lane in Northport, Alabama. Contact Michael at 205-310-1823. He'll take great care of you and get that truck or SUV lifted or sitting pretty, however you like it. So make sure you check them out. Again, Off-Road Performance Direct. All right, got to get out of here. It's been a fun week on the Miller's Edge. Appreciate everybody for your support, listening in on the YouTube stream, on the app, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys Monday. Up next, Ryan Fowler in the game.